Hey everyone! So here's a question that might hit a little too close to home for some of us. What actually happens to your brain and body when you spend too much time alone? Now, I'm not talking about enjoying a quiet weekend by yourself or needing some me time after a long week. I'm talking about prolonged isolation, the kind that creeps up on you without you even realizing it. And trust me, what scientists have discovered is genuinely disturbing. So buckle up because we're diving into some pretty dark territory today. Let's start with one of the most unsettling experiments ever conducted. Back in the 1950s, researchers at McGill University wanted to understand what happens to the human mind in complete isolation. They paid students, good money actually, to just lie in a room. Sounds easy, right? Here's the catch. They wore frosted goggles so they could barely see, cardboard cuffs so they couldn't feel much, and the room was soundproofed. Basically, sensory deprivation at its finest. The researchers thought students would last for weeks. I mean, getting paid to do nothing? Sign me up. But here's where it gets creepy. Most participants couldn't even last 3 days. Some lasted only a few hours. They started hallucinating, hearing voices, seeing things that weren't there. Their brains literally started creating their own reality just to cope with the nothingness. One guy reported seeing rows of marching squirrels. Another saw prehistoric animals. And these weren't just daydreams. These were full-blown hallucinations that felt completely real. So what's actually going on in your brain during isolation? Well, it turns out your brain is like a muscle. It needs stimulation to stay healthy. When you're isolated for too long, your brain literally starts to shrink. Specifically, the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and learning, actually gets smaller. But it gets worse. Your brain also starts producing less white matter, which is basically the wiring that helps different parts of your brain communicate with each other. So you're not just losing brain cells, you're losing the connections between them. And here's the really disturbing part. Loneliness triggers the same stress response in your body as physical pain. Your cortisol levels spike, your immune system weakens, and inflammation increases throughout your entire body. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in for a second. Being alone too long is literally as dangerous as a serious smoking habit. Now let's talk about what happens to your mind. When you're isolated, your brain starts losing its ability to read social cues. Ever notice how after spending a lot of time alone, social interactions feel awkward or exhausting? That's not just in your head. Your brain has actually gotten worse at processing social information. You also become hypervigilant. Your brain goes into survival mode, and you start perceiving threats everywhere. That person who looked at you funny? Your isolated brain might interpret that as danger. It's like your internal alarm system gets stuck on high alert. Depression and anxiety skyrocket. Your thoughts become more negative, more self-critical. You start ruminating, going over the same worries and regrets again and again, like a broken record. And here's something really fascinating and terrifying. People in isolation often start treating objects like companions. You know how Tom Hanks talked to Wilson the volleyball in Castaway? That's not just Hollywood drama. That's your brain desperately trying to fulfill its need for social connection by any means necessary. This isn't just about extreme experiments or people stranded on islands. This affects real people every single day. The elderly living alone. People working from home without much social contact. Individuals dealing with social anxiety who gradually withdraw from the world. Even scrolling through social media for hours can leave you feeling more isolated than before. And the pandemic showed us this in real time. Millions of people experienced the mental health effects of isolation firsthand. We saw increases in depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline in isolated individuals. The scariest part? Isolation becomes a vicious cycle. The longer you're alone, the harder it becomes to reach out and connect with others. Your social skills rust, your anxiety increases, and the idea of connecting with people becomes more and more terrifying. So here's the bottom line. We're social creatures. Our brains are literally wired for connection. Isolation isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. If you're feeling isolated, reach out to someone today. Send a text, make a call, go for a walk in a public place. Your brain will thank you. And hey, if this video made you think, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's build a community right here. Take care of yourselves and remember, you're not alone in feeling alone. I'll see you in the next one.